Hello friends, I'm Sasha of Sasha Makes Cards, and welcome back to another YouTube video. For today's card, I'm using the Stitched Floral Flip Frame Etched Die from Spellbinders to make a really fun rainbow floral stitch card. I had such a fun time doing this one. I didn't think I would like doing the stitching as much as I did, but I loved it, and I just want to buy so many more stitching dies to make so many more stitched cards. It was so fun. Anyways, first I am going through and I am die cutting a bunch. I had to die cut a ton of tiny little flowers for this, using an assortment of rainbow color paper. It's a mix. I don't know the names. I'm bad with names. It's a mix of cardstock from Nina Astorbright and Recollections. But first I am taking two of the flowers from this die kit, one with the stitching, one without, and I am die cutting them a bunch of times. I only show some of the die cutting here because there's a ton to do, and I didn't realize until after that I'd actually need to die cut more. So what I'm doing is I'm die cutting the stitching die first, and I end up die cutting it twice for each flower so I can layer it up. Because this cardstock is thinner, it's not a nice thick cardstock that will hold up to the stitching. I decided to die cut it twice and glue it together, so I have to die cut it a total of 4 times. And then with the other flower with no stitching, I also had to die cut that 4 times because it's a part of the repeating pattern, and I also wanted to glue it on to the little finished stitched flower, just so it had a backing and you couldn't see the cardstock through the little stitching holes. Once I was done die cutting all the flowers and I had that all done and ready to go, I took the large fancy happy birthday die from Simon Says Stamp. This is from their May card kit. And I die cut that 3 times because I wanted to glue them all together and stack them up to give it more dimension and depth and have it be more fun and, I don't know, just more in your face happy birthday. So I die cut that 3 times as well. Once I had a ton of pieces all die cut and ready to go, I started the stitching process. Now it took a while because I had to stitch 2 flowers of each color, 6, so I had to stitch 12 flowers. So I only showed a little clip here because you don't want to watch all that. um, and it is sped up because it's a very repetitive process. What I did once I glued the 2 pieces together, I took some embroidery floss, embroidery thread, whatever you want to call it. I went in from the back and then through the little hole and just repeated that process. Back in, back in, back in until it was done. And then I taped it off, I glued it together, Off camera, I attached a card front to an A7 card base using tape runner, and then I also positioned and glued all of the florals down to the card with barely art glue. I just decided not to show it. It was kind of a repetitive process. You can see how it looks off to the side there. But then I took the 3 happy birthday die cuts that I did earlier, and I started gluing those together. Once the happy birthday, 3 happy birthdays were all glued together, I started the very tedious process of cutting down foam squares to add to the back of the card. This took a while. I don't have small foam squares. I have or micro dots or other smaller adhesive things. So I just decided to use the foam squares I have and cut them down. It took a bit, but I am very happy with how it ended up looking. I think it's really pretty. I love it. It's I love this card. It's such a fun card, and I just want to make more stitched cards. And it's also a birthday card. I love birthday cards. Stitching cards has probably become one of my new favorite things. Birthday cards are one of my favorite things. It's a great combination. What else could go wrong? And here's the finished product. Thank you for watching.